Now, watching Bel-Air and watching young Jabari Banks, it's so amazing to see him encompass his character because he has the exact mannerisms of Will Smith, and he's just redoing it over. It's just almost like freaky to see it, and it's so good. Being, I want to know what was your reaction seeing this young actor portraying his role and making it his own, and he's taking a role that's beloved by many. So I'm pretty sure the nerves are going through. So what is it like seeing him reimagine Will Smith?
Um, yeah, I suppose Joseph.
Well, age before, beauty before age.
So, okay, my 2 pence was immediately when I met Jabari. We met in the car park, and we just connected straight away. I just noticed the essence and that energy. He is this young kid. We're in the Universal Studios, and he's just wide-eyed. But there was a sense of like readiness. And then when I saw him on set, I think when you get into acting, I think your younger years, when you get these opportunities, they're very exciting because there's a freeness that actors have. Because Jabbar is trained as well, but he's so free with it. You know what I mean? He's not in his head at all. And when you see him in the flow, it reminds me of especially that first season, Joseph, where Will was mouthing the words, but like he was so free. He was doing all sorts of things where, he's like almost, oh no, we don't do that on sitcoms. But I feel like he's not even thinking about that because it's his first job. And I think Jabari has that as well. And yet he has in terms of a number one, a leading man, he has a maturity about him as well that is fascinating. And when you're on set, he brings it. So everybody's bringing the A game, but he does set the bar. And so I just think he's done amazingly well. And I think, even the way he got cast, guys, you know what I mean? He's from Philadelphia. He makes music. He can sing. He can rap. Do you know what I mean? He plays basketball. It's just amazing. And so for me, Bernard, like that's not easy to have that role and to do it as well as he's been doing it. And I can't wait for people to see how far his career goes.
Absolutely. He is amazing, man.
I think it's sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I think it is interesting what you've said because I don't know if you saw Will's first film, 6 Degrees of Separation, I think it was.
Yes.
The extraordinary thing about it was that when you're rehearsing, you kind of you don't seek perfection on the first day. You kind of work to it. So you try things in different ways. And one of the things, the most striking thing about Will at that time was he was able to do that. Now, as fellow actors watching that, you begin to see things. You can see, you begin to see a range. You see a versatility, a possibility. And watching that young man Jabari in that first episode, I mean, it was almost, and I mean that in a very, very respectful way, a clone, because what he had this enthusiasm, this excitement, this irrepressible bounciness, and yet there was a kind of dramatic tension in him that you could not but notice, and that's what brought you in. Now, when you watch Will in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it is the opposite, because his is charm and versatility, but you can't take your eyes off him. And it's that one's modern and one's of the past. And I think it's I don't know what the story is of his casting, but I think it really is perfect, because he has, I am sure he has what Will has with us, is that he was the leader of the gang, and yeah, awesome. Superb. And I think it's actually a coup for the show to have that young man leading it.
Yeah. I do as well. I think it'd be a complete different show if we didn't have him. I think he epitomizes the authenticity that Morgan Cooper wanted for the show. And, you know, Rashid and TJ, showrunners, and Will, how they've backed Morgan to, you know, and bring us all together, the whole cast. And what's also quite funny, Joseph, I don't know if you thought about this. I said this to Will when I met him at the premiere. I sort of said that the journey for Bel-Air, it does mirror the original journey in some ways of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that even like Jabari, right? I mean, so Morgan Cooper, I feel, is like the Quincy Jones to Jabari. You know how Quincy was like, I'm going to change your life, you know, because this whole idea came from Morgan. It didn't come from Will, right? But then, you know, and then I feel like Will, his role now, he's the Benny Medina. You know what I mean? He's the Benny Medina to Morgan Cooper. And then now Jabari's playing Will's life. So Jabari's Will. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying?
I understand, yes.
It's just fascinating. Because Will's playing Benny's life, but now Jabari's playing Will's life via the TV show. It's just so fascinating. And there's so many serendipitous sort of moments within this show in terms of how people got cast. Even me and you, Joseph, playing father and son on Death in Paradise, you know, it's crazy, you know. Bernard, he played my father. He owned the island, you know, and I ended up killing him. but
yeah, fratricide. What can I tell you? You know, that's why we're doing it on Zoom.
but look at that. Joseph, I've got a picture of us pointing together like this in Guadeloupe, Joseph. And I remember we had a day, I'll send it to you. We had a day and I was like, Joseph, does this ever get old? You were like, no, dear boy, this is it. And then we're there with our drinks, you know, having a day off. And then who would have known 6-7 years later, you know, I'm playing your role. But also within that show, Bernard, like, it still represented like wealthy, a man that owned the island. That you know, that looked like Joseph, black man, like even that, and a wealthy family to do. So even those sort of nuances and going, oh, okay, well, yeah. And then now, you know, Jeff Reed.
Yes, it's commonplace. It's second act. Yeah. But until Fresh Prince, it wasn't. But it's also nice for me to remember that, you know, we have there have been all sorts of things happen. But for us, Jimmy Akingbola and Joseph Marcell, what we have been given the opportunity to participate in is to present to the people on the other side of that chunk of water that, you know, that there are decision makers that look like us, who are very powerful, who have an empathy that does not require weighing and, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's really marvelous. It really is. When you look at you and you look at me, I mean, you know, the age differences between us is huge. But what is important is that, you know, you are one of the, you know, I would say the cutting edge actors in Great Britain, unsung. If you see, do you see what I mean?
Yes,
and what you are showing to the world is that, you know, I am versatile. I learned how to do it, and I can do it, and I can do it for 1 minute, or I can do it for 5 hours, whatever you like. You know, you pays your money and you takes your choice. And, you know, there is a pride that comes to me as an older man that you know, is inexpressible. I don't have the words to express, you know, how proud I am.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. That means so much to me coming from you. And just to respond to that, I was just thinking about the scenes, like, the scenes that you had throughout the show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I just remember, like, you would steal the scenes, man. You would steal scenes. Everyone would come in just like 1, 2, 3. and get out. Do you know what I mean? I remember we would have to rewind the scene. Do you know what I mean? Them days, they'd be like, you can rewind, you got it on the DVD. And so to do that, like I just said to myself, okay, what does that look like in this version? I was like, I don't know if I can do that, but I did want his presence. Do you know what I mean? When Jeffrey's in the room, I wanted that presence, which you always brought, you know?
Yes.
And
that requires your Stanislavski, you know. Who am I?
Yeah,
Why am I here?
hear you.
What do I hope to achieve? All that nonsense.
No, it's
I'm
true.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm behind there before. I'm like, no, I can't. I gotta know where I've just come from. You know, on TV, you don't get that, Joseph. It's like, here's the lines. It's like, but what was I doing before? Like, go. No, but no, I just know your words mean a lot to me. But back out to you, like, you know, and also Bernard, like, if you want to talk about, you know, I call it like game changers. Like Joseph was out here in the US doing it way before, you know, the John Biegas, my friends, Idris, our friends, you know, even Eamon Walker, right? And so to the importance of to be the change you want to see, you know, it's crazy that we're still on that journey. And even me doing this role is a part of opening up and inspiring people that certain things, anything is possible. Just like Morgan Cooper going from Kansas City on the freeway, think of this Bel-Air idea, and here we are now in 2022. But in terms of Jeffrey, what's great that we're playing a British character on American TV, and they're few and far between Black British characters on American TV. You know, I don't think I can think of any other character that's ever done. Is there another character? I don't think there is.
Not coming to mind quickly, but yeah. And the importance of that, because there's a lot of actors that, you know, I don't want to get into the American sort of the you know, the Black Brit African American things, because I think we're one diaspora, but in terms of being able to represent the Black British voice, and for people from where we're from, not just the UK, but, you know, from whether it's Nigeria to Barbados to Jamaica, seeing ourselves represented on a big stage like this is very important. And I think when you look at the two Jeffreys, you know, we're just giving a tiny bit of seasoning of like, this is how varied our community is, you know what I mean? Globally, but even within the UK, or, you know what I mean, between, you know, Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and Barbados, it's nuanced. And we need more of that. And, you know, hopefully it's season 2.
Yeah, well, I just need to add something to that. You know, Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and Barbados, and St. Lucia, of course.
Of course. Sorry. Of course.
No, I need to say one thing, is that you guys got it easy, man. You guys got it easy. Bel-Air, piece of cake. You got it easy. We had to do it in front of a live audience.
True. I forgot. What was that like then, Joseph? What was that like then, you know? Because you're right, that's completely different. You know, we do it.
It was, one of the things it did was it became every Friday was an event, was, you know, a festival. You know, will I have any fingernails left at the end of this? I mean,
wow.
You know, to the quick. Biting your fingernails to the quick. But it was total excitement. I mean, just total excitement. It was like standing in, I don't know, the wings, the kind of the left side, the prop side of a pop concert, where you can see the lead singer and the lead guitar and still catch the drums in your peripheral vision. That was, I mean, just, and nervous making like a son of a gun. I mean,
wow.
Just nervous making, but and that's what I think brought us together. So because we had to do it. But you guys, I'm only saying that for information rather than
no, it's good because the reunion when you saw it looked like a party, like a club night, you know what I mean? It was like, it looked so much fun. It looked like you guys weren't working. So to hear that there was that nerve-wracking and whatnot, but you could feel the energy off the screen just from watching the, you know.
Well, it's, you know, it's and that's what it was. and and if you imagine Will bringing his whole concert ethos to that, being able to communicate and relate to a live audience, 5,000-10,000 people. And so we it was pure magic. I mean, it really was. It was pure magic. We'd within our nervousness, we did all sorts of weird things. But it was live and it was fun. It really was. It was wonderful. And so that's a pitch for me to see what it's like doing a show without an audience.
Awesome, man. That's great. That went off script, and I'm happy it happened. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that, man. I'm always here for you guys giving each other your flowers. That's dope.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Well, my final, I can talk to you guys all day, but this is my final question for you guys. Mr. Marcell, you did Jeffrey for 6 seasons. Mr. Akingbola is doing this is his first season, and the first of many, honestly. What advice that you can, willing to share with him on this during this interview as far as going forward with this character? What advice would you have for him?
What advice would I have for him? It's very difficult, this, because the kind of advice I would give him, he has done. He probably knows. Prepare a character. Polish it, get it together so it becomes second nature to you. Do your pre-curtain before every take, so what it is you're doing, your points and your objectives. But most of all, this is the advice I would give him, is that you don't have to audition anymore. You got the role. The role is you. You don't have to please anybody. It is you. When people think of Jeffrey in Bel-Air, they don't think of me, they think of you, and it's yours. And always at the end of every season, you're in the first season, let's say at the end of every block before your hiatus, at the end of your hiatus, go through your character creation to remind yourself of who he is, rather than trying to remember who he is, so that your character remains constant. Do you see?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Total sense. Yeah. Because sometimes we can rely on just the memory of I've done that, built it, but to go through that journey again, to to reconnect and refresh it.
Yeah, refresh.
So because which is also another part of acting, isn't it? We can know it so well, but sometimes it's good to just go back and be like, what are the basics? Do you know what I mean? What are the basics? So no, I really appreciate that. I've got a question for Joseph before we go. Can I ask him a question?
Absolutely. I'm all for it.
All right. So what was your favorite scene or episode to the original, when you shot the original Joseph for Jeffrey?
Oh my God. This is, 140 something.
Is there not one that pops out, or a scene or something?
Oh, the one of my salutary moments from the show is the very opening of the show. Will arrives in a taxi. He comes up to the door. You get a shot of Jeffrey coming in, and he goes to the door and he lets Will in, right? That kind of. Then later on in that day, Jeffrey is going to the door, and Will is coming down the stairs and leapfrogs him, jumps up. That is the essence of comedy. The other one is the day the vacuum cleaner blew up. That was amazing. And the other one was, my other favorite is, and there are many, is one with Janet Hubert, when Vivian was expecting the baby, and this bell used to ring this bell, and Jeffrey come.
Yes. Oh, okay. No, thank you. Thank you. And do you remember what your son was called?
Jeez.
Because I've done my research, man. I'm just, I've used it.
Oh, well, you should. You should do your research. Yes. I can't remember.
Okay.
What was his name?
Frederick. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well done, Jimmy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, this was an amazing conversation. I wish I could talk to you guys all day. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. You guys you're a legend in making, Jimmy, and Mr. Marcell, you are a legend. You are a legend, and I thank you for what you brought with the character Jeffrey for my generation, and for new generations too coming on to the Fresh Prince. So thank you for taking the time and having this conversation with me today. That's very much appreciated.
Thank you, sir, for making me feel special.
Thank you so much. This was an honor. And thank you, Joseph, man. And let's get talking about that two-hander play.
Okay, you got it. Yes, and very best wishes. I may be back. I should be back in end of May, so I'll call you when I'm.
All right, see you soon.
Take very good care. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you.